Warframe is surprisingly a decent game for a free-to-play action shooter. However, there are quite a few problems with it right now, but let's start by talking about the graphics. Graphically, the game is nice. There's lots of bloom, and areas are generally dark and dingy. Textures are what you'd expect from a free-to-play game. That's actually a funny concept. Free, I mean. I'll go into that more later. But overall, graphically, the game looks good. Warframe is essentially a mix of a shooter and a hack-and-slash ninja melee combat that works quite okay, up until you reach the harder levels and get matched up with pea-brain teammates. The matchmaking is absolutely awful. You'll get thrown into running matches, sometimes right at the end of a mission, in the middle of a huge enemy group. At that point, you're fish food. Lag. No dedicated servers. If the host of a match has a bad connection, you will suffer from a horrible lag, which makes the enemies seem like they have the magic power of teleportation. Solo play is extremely hard and often simply impossible due to the spawns of enemies and damage they dish out. If you're down and you have no teammates, you're instantly dead. You can revive yourself 4 times a day, but most missions are simply too hard to tackle solo right now. You could do the majority of missions stealthily, but again, when the bad matching strikes, forget about stealth gameplay. This game can, however, be an absolute blast if you have friends to play with. There's different ninja moves that you can pull off, like wall running, sliding, and backflipping. You can combine these different moves while not losing control over your character. This makes for some awesome moments as the moves feel fluid and you can shoot while executing them. There's a lot of customization in RPG elements. Each weapon can be leveled and modded. Lots of possibilities with different mod combinations on weapons. The dice roll system is something to keep in mind. You might be craving for an awesome mod which you just won't find for days. And there currently is no other way to get or trade mods other than finding them during missions as enemy drops. The selection of Warframes and weapons is decent right now. However, some weapons and Warframes are locked unless you're willing to pay a lot. The prices for in-game currency are horrendous. It's just as well they had to pay with a kidney option there. You won't get the majority of classes and weapons unless you pay at least $20 for one class. A lot of milking of the cows going on. Or perhaps a goat, and maybe a bird. You can unlock some weapons and even classes without paying, but it's just as well you plant a flower and watch it grow. The materials you need for classes will take you weeks of grinding. You'll need to farm bosses for rare blueprints for classes and rare materials to craft those. And each of the 3 parts required to craft a Warframe in-game requires 3 to 4 different materials, with 1 or 2 being rare. And then they take 12 hours and 15,000 credits to craft. And the Warframe itself will take 3 days and another 25,000 credits to complete. So you're looking at least a week of grinding, if you're extremely lucky with the drops and spend your cash and time on nothing else. If you have a few people you can play with, or your annoyance threshold for bad matchmaking and brain-dead teammates is high, I definitely recommend trying Warframe. However, unless you're willing to pay a lot, you won't be getting much diversity. Most missions are prolonged. You'll always be following a set path with limited variation. If you enjoy games like Mass Effect, Quake, or even Ninja Gaiden, give this one a try. This is DTR. Communicate laters.